Slayers, welcome back to another episode of the Slang Self Doubt Podcast. It's your girl, Coach Felicia. Happy New Year. We are in 2023, y'all. Like, I promise you, whenever I think about sometimes the new year and like as it progresses, I don't know if I've said this before, I probably have, but what I envisioned, like the 2020s of something, was like the Jetsons. Y'all remember that? I'm probably aging myself, but we thought we was having floating cars, like the sidewalks was gonna be moving. We was in the air and the ground. Like, child, it is definitely. I mean, there's some ways that things are kind of getting there, but it definitely don't look like what I thought it was gonna look like when I was a kid. But I am blessed to see another year, to be here, to be back in you guys' ear. It's been a minute, okay? So first and foremost, I know over the break that we got some new listeners. So welcome, y'all. Welcome to all the new Slayers joining our movement. We want you to feel like you are a part of the family. So make sure that you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure that you rate and review, do all the things. And so no matter how you found us, whether it was by way of a guest episode, solo episode, you found me on Google, I'm just grateful that you are here. I'm grateful to you all who've been my day ones, who have been listening to me. And now you're watching me on YouTube because, video is king and sis is over here trying to keep up with the times. So whether you're watching me on YouTube or you're listening to me wherever you can find podcasts, hey y'all, hey. If you have not subscribed to the newsletter, y'all need to make sure that you do that, because if you were listening to like the replays and things of that sort on the podcast over the break, and then you felt like you weren't getting any information from me, it's because I wasn't really doing much, because I was enjoying my family. Like I said at the last episode, like, you need to be subscribed to the newsletter if you want part in the stuff that is happening behind the scenes. Now, I will say with the newsletter, for those of you all who are subscribed, I really was thinking about this. It really was yesterday and today. Like, I don't know if I'm overwhelming them, because really, y'all, for those who don't know, they get 2 emails a week. You get one for Sunday and then you get one for Thursday. And it's a lot of work for me too, to make sure that I keep up with that. And so I'm thinking about changing some things up where maybe it's bi-weekly, or maybe it's I give you both episodes in the same week. I just have to figure it out, only because one of the things that I recognize is that, when you do bonus episodes, unless you're subscribed to the actual podcast, you don't know, right? Like, you won't know that it's on there because it doesn't pop up on your podcast, wherever you use podcasts. For me, I use Apple Podcasts. That's how I listen to my stuff. And I don't even subscribe to a lot of stuff. And even if I do, sometimes I just delete the downloads because they take up memory. Okay. And so because they just be sitting there. So that was part of the reason why I did it, to just like let you know, like, oh, hey, I'm here. But then I also realized, like, that's very overwhelming. For me, I know the amount of emails and subscriptions that I have, that, child, over the break, I was like, New Year, I'm deleting these joints. Have I ever read you? Have I ever read you? And I really want to make sure that you're getting, the information, right? So I know in a newsletter I give you 3 ways to slay your week, but I'm thinking if I give it to you and it's once a month, maybe y'all can let me know, like, is once a month good? You want it bi-weekly? I'm really trying to do things smarter, not harder, because I'm a one-woman show, and I have some updates that's coming on that's really made me had to pause and think about how I've been operating, thus far, that whether or not it's sustainable or not, right? And so, I think I'm just gonna make a decision. I probably don't even need y'all input. I don't even know why I said that. I'm probably just gonna do once a month. And I know I do the links and all of that stuff, but being as though that I know what's coming up, I'm wondering, I think that's the part that I have been thinking about, like, do I do it at the beginning of the month or do I do it at the end of the month? And I might just do it at the yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it, because here I am processing it right now. I'm just gonna do whatever is best for me and whatever the Lord tells me to do. How about that? So again, happy new year, guys. I hope you had a amazing holiday. I hope that you enjoyed time with your family and your loved ones. I hope you were able to reflect over the year that you had. And I hope that in that reflection, you realize that you won. Because if you still here, baby, we are still winning. Okay. And God is still using us and we are still on an assignment. And so if you are here, no matter what happened over the course of the year, like, you're winning. Okay. But I really do hope that you took time to reflect on the things that you did and the wins that you had, no matter how big or how little, so that you're able to come into this year feeling accomplished, right? And so for me, I did a lot of reflecting on, sometimes the reflection really is when during that break time, I do these like best of 2022. And I be like, girl, like your growth or the things that happened or just your consistency or just how your mindset has changed from the beginning of the year to now. Like it definitely has, made a difference. And I was glad that I had that time to really just enjoy myself, pour into myself and, spend time with my family and my loved ones. And yeah, so now we back into it. Okay. Y'all know I had announced back when we hit 50,000 downloads. There is no way you could have ever God be moving. Okay. So I was trying to hit 50,000 by the end of the year. I did. And he gave me 7,000 more. Okay. So by the end of 2022, we had hit 57,000 downloads and we're now at 58,000 downloads. This is a big ask off the break. I'm going to say it every episode, no matter what, guest episodes, all of that stuff. We're trying to hit 100,000 downloads this year, y'all. Like, I really do believe that this movement of slaying self-doubt needs to be heard by the masses. Like, everybody needs to be listening to new episodes, old episodes, all of it, the solo episodes and the guest episodes. Because when I tell you how this podcast for me has been a blessing to be able to share, but also to listen back. Like, when I listen back to some of my episodes, I'd be like, girl, you was spitting some fire. And it is weird because my cousin always says, I don't know how you talk to yourself for 30 minutes straight. And I be like, me neither. But I do it and I walk away from it just feeling fulfilled. And I'm always just kind of like, the fact that the Lord keeps giving me something to talk about every week. Bless him. Okay. Bless him. What else? Oh, so also throughout the break, I changed the name of the Facebook group. To the Slayer Society, right? So I've been saying, hey, Slayers. And I feel like I really want us to use that space to be able to really hold each other accountable, to be able to support each other through. And so if you're already in the group, it is free to join. You can click the link in the show notes to join, or you can go follow me on social media. And there's always a link to join there. And I haven't been in there as much as I would like, just because, again, working harder, not smarter, but I want to be able to do more. And so it's all coming together. Okay. So the Slayer Society, make sure you sign up, join now. What's new with me? Okay, y'all. So about 2 weeks ago, I had vertigo. If you never had vertigo, it is basically everything is spinning. Okay. The room, I'm talking about with your eyes open, not with your eyes closed. Like with your eyes open, your room, the outside, whatever you're looking at is going around in circles. I've had it before at different times and they've usually gone away for like, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 days. Like it'll go away. But this time, baby, this thing stuck around for like, I think I'm just at the end of it. So it is currently Friday, January 6th. So before Christmas, through Christmas, before New Year's and after, I was in this space of like, the room wasn't spinning anymore, but I felt off balance, right? And then it was triggering my anxiety because then even though the room wasn't spinning, I was always on edge. Like, am I about to, is it dizzy? Like, am I dizzy? Am I about to fall over? Am I leaning like this? Like when you focus so much on something that you make it actually occur. And so dealing with that was annoying, first of all, because you just want to feel better off the break. I just want to be back to being myself and moving and shaking. And it made, like Christmas Eve, we all get together, my family, and we do breakfast for dinner. It's a tradition that we've done for years, even when my parents were here. And so being able to get back together, do that was amazing. But I really couldn't enjoy it. Like I was, it's almost like everything else except for inside my head was fine. Like everything else about me, my stomach, I could eat whatever I wanted to eat, but it was just like sitting there. It was just like I couldn't really enjoy myself. So I did my best to kind of push through for my family and all that stuff. Christmas Day, I couldn't even go to Christmas dinner, like New Year's. So I did go to the doctors and I was able to get some medicine and all of that stuff. And so I was able to kind of get through New Year's and all of that and be like, okay, I got this, right? But what I feel like that it helped me to do was enter into this year the way I actually wanted to, but I probably wouldn't have done it on my own. So I always say, for me, the Lord works in mysterious ways. And for me, I can only speak for myself. A lot of times when things happen to me, it is happening for me. And I know people hear that and they be like, well, what does that mean? For me, it means God always got an ulterior motive when he fooling around with me. And I told y'all before, I hate being sat down. And I feel like that this was a moment for me to be sat down because I had verbally said to the Lord, like, I want a lifestyle change. I want to go into the new year, like for real, like really taking care of myself because this is ridiculous. And so having this vertigo really messed me up because I was like, man, I can't do what I want to do. I can't party the way I want to. I can't, get all my final foods in, or my final drinks in, and all of that stuff before I flip that switch, right? Which is what we all do. Like, all right, and so for me, knowing that I was kind of in this space and that I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do, I was like, okay, God, is this your way of like cutting me off before I fake cut myself off? Because I know me and I know that if I had allowed myself to extend it into the new year, it would have been harder for me to say, oh, you know what? All right, I know I'm supposed to give this up, but I'm gonna push it till this day is over. Or I would have said, oh man, I'm gonna do this. Like I give myself more excuses to hold on to not do something that I told myself I was gonna do. And I shared a post a couple of weeks ago that I said during the 2022 about how we break promises to ourselves all the time. And so why I say sometimes for me, what happens to me is for me is because I know me. I know me well enough to know that I wouldn't be right here what I'm doing today and making the changes that I'm making right now because I would have been like, oh, I can wait until later. Right. And so the lifestyle changes that I'm making now, because when I looked at I was noticing different things, right? So I would notice that like I had coffee or soda. So I'm like, man, why do I feel dizzy all over again? So then I looked it up, like, what are the things that, exacerbate your vertigo? Child, caffeine, alcohol, salt, and sugar. I say, well, baby, that's all the things I eat. Like that is what it is that I do. So I knew right then and there, like, okay, you're gonna have to give some stuff up. And so it was like sodas. I was like, all right, fine. Then I'm like, I can't have coffee. I'm gonna have to go to tea. Now I don't mind tea, right? But even trying to figure out, like, I like my Earl Grey. That's still too much caffeine. I had it one day and I got dizzy again. And I was like, okay, well, Lord, like it can't be that, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's sodas, it's like if you have something, then it needs to be I hate Sprite. The taste of it is pointless. I don't even know. Something like ginger ale, something like that, right? And so I'm like, or just not having it at all, or having what's that, club soda or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I could just drink water and be okay with that, right? And so it's just making those adjustments and realizing that, okay, this is what I wanted to do anyway. But the Lord just sped the process up. And then it allowed me to be able to walk into this year saying, okay, I am making this commitment to myself. And so that's what this first episode is actually, we're going to be talking about. If you've seen the title, it's called The Year of Doing. Like I am coining 2023 as the year of doing. Why? I'm going to tell you why. I saw a video a couple months ago, back last year, that a guy who's a author or of kids book or something like that. And they asked him, why did you choose to, I'm paraphrasing and I'm probably going to Google it because I'm not even 100% sure. But basically, this is the gist of it. They asked him a question about writing to kids or whatever have you. And he was like, most people, they write a book and then they're like, oh, this is a kid's book. No, I specifically am writing to young Black kids that look like me because, we want them to be, we need there to be change, right? And so talking to them creates that change or whatever. And so he said, we hear the saying all the time, when you know better, you do better. The problem is we don't do. And I said, what? Like that convicted me for myself because I was like, if he ain't never lied, because that is the problem. We don't do. We don't have no problem talking. We don't have no problem telling people, yeah, I'm about to blah, 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 blah. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, the Lord told me this. He dropped this in my spirit. He downloaded this to me. I'm telling you, all of us. So this ain't even this is literally one of those episodes where I'm about to gather the both of us. Okay. Me and you today about to get gathered because it is one of the things that I have recognized in myself, in my clients, in my family, in my friends, in people talking on social media. We talk too much. Me and my sisters call it Hollywood talk. It's a rock of Hollywood talk out here. It's just, y'all seen that episode of Martin when he was like, you said you was gonna have me. It's like, you don't know, that's Hollywood talk. Like, we just be saying stuff to say it. And I'm saying we have to stop that, especially when we know that whatever it is that we're saying is connected to something that we're supposed to be doing, like connected to our purpose, connected to breaking generational curses, connected to helping our children, connected to making yourself better. You can't just know better. You have to actually do. And one of the other things is that, I will say that I make a list of all these things I want to be able to do for the year. And then I do the safe stuff. I do the stuff that I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to get the most out of this if I do it this way. I think this is going to, if it don't stretch me, if it don't make me uncomfortable, if it don't make me do something I don't really want to do, then I'm okay with doing it. If it don't push me in a space that's going to, force me to do something different or force me to do hard things, right? Then I don't want to do it. I want to be able to just be comfortable, right? And do what it is that I want to do. And what I'm saying is enough is enough. Like, we can't just keep talking about it. We can't just be out here BSing, right? Because that's what we doing. And the thing about it is you wasting time. I literally said at the top of this, no matter what happened in 2022, the fact that you are still here means that you're still winning. And the fact that you're still here means that you have work to do. For real, like, we all have work to do. God has already gifted us a pep, is planned it for us. It is written. Whatever it is written, period. If you are a believer, even if you're not, you listening to me right now, your life is already planned out. It's done skis already. You don't really have to, like, whatever it is going to happen, it's going to happen, right? And what I'm saying is that we are holding up our progress. We are holding up our blessings. We are holding up our favor. We are holding up the people that are connected to us because we'd rather just talk about it and not do. And so me coining this as the year doing is putting me on, is literally putting me on the spot, right? Because if I say I'm gonna do it, one, the first thing is that it forces me to be honest with myself, right? Because if I don't want to do it, then don't say you're gonna do it, right? Like, if I don't want to go, I don't want to go. If I don't want to be there, I don't want to be there. If I'm ready to leave, I'm ready to leave. Like, I've always been a person like, you ain't gonna force me to do nothing that I don't want to do. Period. Okay. It don't even, not me. I don't be persuaded by peer pressure at all. That's not my thing, right? So I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do, right? So it forces me to be honest off the break anyway, like to say, like, is this something you can commit to? Can you say yes to this for the entire year? Like I was saying about the newsletter, it is a lot of work to have to do that multiple times out of the week to say, oh man, I forgot I need to do, what do I say here? What do I say there? And sometimes it doesn't seem as personal because I'm doing it so much. And I'm like, well, child, I don't even know what else to say. And so the question is it more impactful for you to do something one time and get all the information in and it means something to the people versus just like inundating people with stuff? Like, then it doesn't matter. Like you're doing too much, right? You're doing too much. But so then number two, it also forces, so the first thing is that it forces me to tell the truth off the break. The second thing is that it forces you to not operate in your feelings. And I told y'all I operate in my feelings a lot. It is, I don't feel like doing something. That's a part of the truth too. Like, not operating in your feelings makes you have to be honest about why you don't want to do something or why you do want to do something. Are you saying no to this thing because you worried about the outcome, you worried about the results, you worried about if anybody gonna show up, or you don't want to do something because it's gonna be too much, or you're worrying about things that, one, you don't have no control over, two, that's not even what you ain't even supposed to be worried about that, right? Or we say yes to stuff because we want to be seen. We want the validation. We want the likes. We want the views. We want the followers. We want the people to say, like, oh, okay. You want the accolades. And it's not even tied to anything, right? So you got to be honest about why you're doing or not doing something. So you can't just operate in your feelings. You got to be honest with yourself. And then lastly, it's everything that you do sets you up for the next thing. And you can't do the next thing if you don't do the first thing. That's it. Like, it isn't. And I also think with that being said, it blocks your blessings. Like, God cannot do for you if you don't even do the first thing. If you don't even take the first step, he can't even open your path to be able to see the rest of it. A lot of times me included, want to know all the steps. Okay, well, Lord, just give me 2 through 7. Okay. And then if you show me 2 through 7 now, then I'm ready. And he's like, I'm gonna show you 1. Maybe not even, I might show you 0.5. And can you even do that? Can I trust you to do that in a way that, so that I can give you the rest? Like, the Lord wants whatever it is that he's given us, the purpose that he's put in us, the ideas, the vision, all of that stuff. He wants to see that stuff come to pass. But it can't happen if we're not willing to do it. And then I would say also, you need to be honest with yourself about, is this the life you want? Do you want the responsibility of doing, right? Because I think the other part is that you got to make a choice. I told you, I think, was it last year or the year before last? Whenever I read the book, The Year Yes, right? And so she was basically saying that whole book is like, whatever you're saying yes, like whatever you're saying no to, you're saying yes to the other thing. And so what the one that was distinct to me was like, you're saying yes to something, whether you realize it or not. And so she was talking about getting healthy and losing weight. And so she was like, I don't want to do all that. Like, I ain't trying to, eat right and exercise and listen to these people and blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, I realized I was saying yes to being fat. Again, that gathered me. And I was like, oh, like, that's that's what you're doing. Like, if you don't say yes to the change, you're saying yes to the things that are not changed. Remember, you hear people always say, like, not making a choice is still making a choice, right? Like, you can say, I don't want nothing. You're making a choice. You're making a decision, right? Even if you don't, whatever that the thing is, like, you have to be honest about whether or not you want this. And I think for me personally, like, going into this year, it's like, there's so many things I want to be able to do. It's so many things that God has put on my heart to do. And I know that there's some steps I've taken, leaps over stuff, like, oh, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. And he's like, I'm gonna need you to back it up, and we're gonna have to do some other things until we get to that place where I can, because what you're doing is you skipping steps. You're just trying to get to the end. You're trying to get to the results. And I posted something last week that said God is not interested in your results. He's interested in your obedience. But you're focused on your results. You're focused on what the end is going to look like. He's focused on your obedience. So then that means you out of order and you being disobedient because you ain't even doing what you're supposed to do. And so sometimes, it's a hard thing to be in this place, but you have to be honest with yourself. And so this year, y'all, I'm telling you, it may seem like some stuff I'm doing is random. It may seem like, girl, like what's happening? But it's all in alignment. It all works for my good, right? And so I'm challenging y'all, like my slayers, I am challenging you that this be your year of doing too. I know everybody has a word for the year. People pick words and they say, my year, this is surrender, this is flowing, this is connected, this is bold, this is fierce, this is confident, this is, faith, sacrifice, whatever your word may be, it's still a part of doing. Because in order for you to surrender, you got to do it. In order for you to trust, you got to do it. In order for you to have faith, you got to do it. In order for you to sacrifice, you have to do it. In order for you to have influence, you have to do it. In order for you to flow, you have to do it. It's all connected. You can't just say, this is my word, and then do nothing. Faith without works is dead. You can't just say the word and not do it. So at the end of the day, this is all our year doing, period. Because whatever it is that your word is that you focus on, in order for you to be focused, you have to be focused. That is doing something. Okay. Otherwise, you're doing nothing. Like I said, this episode was for both of us, all of us, everyone who is listening. I gotta give myself enough for today and I'm done. Okay. So y'all make sure that y'all are tuning in. Make sure we are back on Sundays. We are back on Thursdays. As always, thank y'all for rocking with me. If this podcast is something that you find enjoyable and something that you find is valuable and you feel like you are receiving something from me through the Lord, because I am his vessel, and you find it valuable, I'm asking that you consider to make a donation by buying me a coffee. Buy me a coffee allows me to be able to do new things, whether I need to get a new mic or headphones or webcam, or because video is king, y'all. I need to get all of this stuff costs to be able to make this into a video, and so that is just so I can advance and you can help me to support. You can support me to help me make new content and reach more people. I'm asking you if you'd be willing to buy me a coffee. It is January, y'all, and always Jesus in therapy. Okay. But I want y'all to make sure that y'all take charge of your mental health. Now is the time to do all the things. This is when you're going to the doctors, you're getting your lab work. Make an appointment for a therapist and get 10% off your first month of therapy at betterhelp.com/slang, SLAYING. Okay. So make sure that you go to betterhelp.com/slang and get 10% off your first month. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. Yo, I need y'all to share this episode with at least 20 people. Okay. I was saying 10 before. We're going to double it up. And I need 20 people because we're trying to hit 100,000 downloads this year. I'm serious. I need this to be in everybody's ear. So I need 100,000 downloads this year and I need your help. So please help me. Follow me on Instagram at Slaying Self Doubt. And I'm on the TikTok. And I think that's Slay Self Doubt or Slaying Self Doubt. Wherever, I'm there too. No, I'm there. I'm Slaying Self Doubt. I'm Slaying Self Doubt everywhere. Okay. Until next week. See ya.